Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and good evening to all viewers and attendees. First of all, I would like to thank MPC Chemical Productivity Nexus for organizing and inviting me to moderate this webinar. And also thank you all the attendees and the participants and viewers for making time to attend this interesting and enlightening webinar. My name is Riwayat, and I'm the moderator for this webinar today. In order to accommodate majority of the audiences that we have, this webinar will be moderated in both languages, bilingual, English and also Bahasa Malaysia. Today's webinar session is one of the many series organized by MPC. And the title or the subject of the talk today is TPM assessment for chemical plant. I consider this topic to be interesting, and all of us will be enlightened by the speaker, who's very knowledgeable and intimate to this topic as well. It would be beneficial for organizations to adopt this technique, like I mentioned this morning, especially those with many equipment or machineries, not only for chemical industry, but also for the various type of other industries. Actually, there are two parts of this TPM webinar. This morning, the speaker had shared on the overview and the practice of TPM in chemical plant, including the 8 pillars. This afternoon, for now, he will share about the assessment of TPM for the chemical plant. Like this morning, the topic is a bit technical in nature, but the process and methodology follow common sense and logical steps. So it's not very difficult. It's not difficult, but as long as you follow the methodology correctly, and it shouldn't be very complicated. This webinar will share the checklist and assessment method to conduct TPM assessment. The outcome of the assessment actually will determine the state of health for the maintenance management and also the asset performance of the organization. And I would hope that all of you will enjoy this webinar that is going to be shared shortly by the speaker. But before we proceed, let's clear a few housekeeping items first. In order to ensure smooth flow of the webinar, all participants will be put on mute. If you have any question, there is question section for you to utilize in the control panel. The question can be posted in both languages, Malay and English. Depending on the situation, questions will either be posed to the speaker during the presentation, or we will keep them until the end of the presentation. If time doesn't permit for the questions to be answered by the presenter, he may choose to respond those questions by email or WhatsApp. One more thing for your information, in your control panel on the right side, there will be handouts button where you can click to download the slides for you to refer now, or you may want to keep it for your future reference. There are 3 documents there. There are 3 handouts there. One is the slide for today or for this session. Number 2, there's also what do you call the official 2021 TPM awards. That if you want to participate, it can be quite expensive, but if you want to participate, you can download that and submit for the award. And the third document is basically the poster for the next webinar on the 2nd of December for the process readiness on the IR 4.0. Okay. With us today, we are very fortunate to have a very distinguished individual who is very knowledgeable and very intimate with the chemical industry, and he will share his knowledge and insights on TPM methodology, specifically on the assessment of TPM in chemical plant. This morning, he has shared about the TPM practice, and methodology. And now he will share his knowledge on the assessment of TPM. So after you implement TPM, you want to assess whether your implementation or your practice is indeed correct. Yeah. So allow me to introduce our speaker for this webinar today. His name is Dr. Adli Ferdin Ramli. He is a fellow of Industrial Engineering Operation Management Society International, IEOM, based in Michigan, United States. He has been an auditor, assessor, trainer, and consultant for operational excellence since 2001. His experience is in the mainly automotive field, where he focuses on operational efficiency, utilizing lean management, or also the VSM, VSM technique. He has audited and assessed hundreds of organizations, including giant chemical plant and so on and so forth. Dr. Adli is also the founder and the director of EFR certification, an international certification body. He conducts a variety of high impact training and workshops in the areas of workplace improvement, waste reduction, problem solving, and so on and so forth. Because of his extensive exposure in various management systems, he is actively involved in the areas of auditing, consulting, training in the business excellence, operational excellence, ISO 9001, IATF 16949, ISO 14000, and many more, like ISO 45001, ISO 23301, and stuff like that. To all level of organization, including SMEs and also the multinational companies. Okay, I don't want to take too much of the time. Without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Adli to share with us the topic of TPM assessment for chemical plant. Dr. Adli, please share your insight with us.
Thank you, Riwayat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah, and very good afternoon to all the participants today. I'm glad to be here. Again, this is the fourth session for this chemical productivity nexus, in which this afternoon I like to share about the assessment of the TPM. Okay, of course, about this assessment in Malaysia, I can consider is quite new. And then award for the TPM in Malaysia is also quite new as well. Okay, however, like I mentioned this morning, Riwayat, okay, this TPM is already 50 years old. 50 tahun dah. Sudah 50 tahun. Okay, so we should be able, okay, and I believe that a lot of company already implement that, and this is time now after these 50 years. Okay, actually the JIPM, Japan Institute for Plant Maintenance, has opened out the award for outside Japan. So there is a participant, okay, but most of the participants is still from Asia. Of course, we look forward and the participation from Europe, from America, okay, as well. The most important part is from Malaysia. Okay, so about this assessment, basically I like to divide these sessions into 3 sessions, okay, which is first of all is about the overview about this TPM assessment, and then I will share about how the award process, if your organization interested to receive the award on the TPM. And final, actually, this TPM assessment, okay, of course, we can use the JIPM model. Of course, this is about JIPM model, JIPM. Okay, I also have my own, okay, my company own TPM assessment, okay, in which actually is more detail. It's more detail. Okay, JIPM have 10 criteria. Okay, my one have 14 criteria. And this is the main purpose of it is more on diagnosis. It is part of my research. It is to diagnose how well is the organization TPM. But however, this okay, I have to apologize about this. The checklist is still proprietary. Okay, I still not share it to the organization because it's still in the early stage of the development. Okay, and of course, in terms of validations and so on, it is only it's been used in less than 5 companies. Okay, but anyway, I will share a little bit different between this JIPM. Okay, this can consider as international frameworks or model, and then this can be more like internal assessment that can be used. Of course, this can be used to determine improvement that required in the organization. Actually, both can be used for improvement. Only my one is more detailed because I include for the chemical plant, because chemical plant normally have workshop, the repair facilities. They require a bigger budget in the maintenance and so on. So I include that as part of the criteria. The budgeting is part of criteria, but JIPM, the budgeting is not inside the criteria. Okay, so let's start. So can I start?
Yeah, please. Yeah, we're waiting for you. I think it was interesting this morning on the overview and also how to practice or use TPM. And now I think you'll be very grateful to know how to assess what has been implemented if if companies want to implement it.
Okay,
Go
that's
ahead.
great. Okay, thanks. Okay, so award-based and assessment for improvement. So I will share 2 criteria. The award-based criteria actually is in the handout. It's available if you while listening, you want to browse in page 20, page 27. There's a report format, okay, and also page 38 of this TPM award outline. Okay, so while listening to me, maybe you can browse in at the assessment criteria. Okay, so overview about this award base of TPM. Okay, it's basically about this JIPM is established in 1969. It's non-profit organization. It provides service to factory, plant management, plant engineer, maintenance manager, okay, to develop the TPM in the organization. And then they've been actively promote this TPM, okay, and it's promoting since 1971 by Seiichi Kajiyama, okay, which is I shared this morning. Okay, so and the JIPM actually already do this award for many years, okay, but they're open to the outside Japan since last year, so that promote the modernization of plant maintenance. Okay, I have to develop plant maintenance technologies. Okay, it have also down there is to develop Japan competitiveness. Okay, so that's why this webinar I preferred that I talked to MPC just now before we start. I think Malaysia also should start to have this promotion of TPM and should have our Malaysia award on TPM. Okay, of course, after that, those maybe top 3 or top 5 can compete in the in the international stage, for example, this TPM. Okay, why we need this assessment? Because when we implement something, okay, we must have something at the end for us to think about. If we trying to go towards award, so at least your people are trying to move into one directions in which, of course, we want to adopt the world-class best practice. At the same time, we also want some recognition. So at least we can have some recognitions when we implement something, so that the motivation of the staff, of the maintenance people, from the production people, okay, feel their effort is appreciated. Of course, some people say I should have more salary award, okay, but satisfaction by receiving some awards, it will be great. Okay, and then of course, when we have some recognition, it will help us to instill a culture of excellence. Because the assessment that been used is actually adopted from business excellence methodology that using ADLI or ADLI. But that they cut it short to AD only. A is approach, whether you already approach that best practice, or you already approach and deploy it. Sometimes it's just approach but not yet effectively deploy. Okay, or are you on the L stage? L stage in learning stage already. Okay, we try to improve whatever that we're trying to do. So it's this culture of excellence, and that at the end you will receive a blueprint of your result. You will get independent self-assessment, and then improve your competitiveness and international visibility and recognitions. So this is a great platform for us to set our target. One day, yes, we will get this TPM award. Okay, so how the evaluation is been done. All right, so actually the self-assessment that's been provided, like I mentioned, you can refer to the official to 2021 TPM award outline. You can refer to page 38. In page 38, okay, there is a checklist. Okay, there is a checklist assessment criteria, which is divided into 10 key areas. Okay, but in this morning, we discussed about 8 pillars. This morning we talk about 8 pillars. So what is the 2 additional things that they add in? Right, actually they add in this 10 area. Of course, we have 8 pillars. And then we have, of course, the first one is on the management side. The setting up the policy objective, there's one on the management side. And then there's the final one is on the result. The performance. So if the performance is well, okay, then you will get more score on that. So it's become 1 plus 8. 8 is the pillar, and the final one is on the evaluation of the result. So there's 10 key area in which, of course, the 8 pillars still the major one, and then they divide each of that become like 10%, 10%. So each of the criteria will carry out 10%. So if you're strong in autonomous maintenance, maybe you can get 100 marks. If you're strong on the safety health, there's no incident, the compliance is good, maybe you can get on the safety health 100 marks. But maybe you are weak on certain area, maybe you are weak on autonomous maintenance. Okay, it's fine. At least we know that we need to improve our autonomous maintenance. For example, autonomous maintenance, maybe you just get 30%. So there is opportunity for you to move that 30% towards like 70% or 80%, so that you know how to do the improvement. Okay, so and then the assessment of it, okay, it's not looking on maintenance department only. Okay, so like TPM, the keywords is total. So if we look on the overall performance of operation, we look on the production. Okay, is there any problem on the production? And then how about the OEE of it? So every major part of the operation is assessed. So it is not covering only on the maintenance department. Okay, and then the winner, we can show that a strong commitment to the continuous improvement. Okay, because one of the this morning I mentioned about Kobetsu Kaizen, focus improvement of Kaizen of the improvement. Actually, you have also to submit the Kaizen activities, the Kaizen activities that been implemented, especially in the maintenance area. Okay, so that will be the what we call the selection process to become the winner. Okay, so who is the winner for last year? We get the world-class TPM achievement. Okay, is from India. Okay, it's Tetra Pak. Of course, Tetra Pak is the European company, but okay, the submission is done by the Tetra Pak cohort. Sorry, not India. It's from the China. From the China, and then another one is the Tetra Pak Pakistan. So that is for the world-class TPM achievement. And we hope that we can find Malaysia somewhere next year or 2022. Okay, on the special award, there is another checklist, but the checklist is almost the same, only this is more detailed. Okay, the advanced special award, okay, we get the Bajaj Auto and Mahindra Farm Division from India. And then they have a special award. We have from Argentina, from Taiwan, from Italy, from Portugal, Thailand, and so on. Okay, so the participation maybe is still quite new from our side. So we hope that with this webinar, it gives some insight that maybe some multinational Malaysia company to join us. So can I Riwayat? So maybe your client, you can promote this if they have money.
Yeah, but it's a good recognition. It's international recognition, so this is good. Yeah, it's a bit more pricey, but it's a great recognition.
For big company, maybe it's not that expensive. So it's about 1.3 million yen. If we convert, it's about few thousands, almost 10,000. Okay, for the application ringgit. Okay, so but for big company, I think that should be not much. But for SME, yes. So that's why Malaysia, if you can have the SME award for TPM, which is a cheaper version on the application, that would be nice. Okay, so award criteria. What is the 10 criteria that been used? Okay, so of course they are looking at as well the formulation of policy and target of the TPM, the master plan for the TPM. Okay, so this is under the criteria 1, normally it's under the management. Establishment of promotion system by top management, and then manager and technical staff led formation of overlapping small group, but lead the Kaizen improvement team, and then the participation from all level of staff on this TPM and also the Kaizen activities. And then some SOP on the step-by-step implementation of the TPM. And then top management also have some diagnosis function to identify what need to be improved. And then of course the 8 pillar of the TPM is being adopted. And then clarification of the common loss in the organization. So whether it's a quality loss, whether it's downtime loss, a shutdown loss. Okay, so you need some presentation on that. But if there is accident loss, okay, you have to be impartial in this. They ask you, is there any incidents, any fatality? Okay, most likely your proposal is not going to be accepted on that year. So they also want
is there any allowance or it should be zero?
In the criteria it mentioned that if you want to submit and on that year it should be zero. But if you have, okay, but you already do something special that at least the assessor find, okay, it is good to share, right? So maybe the organization can be accepted. Okay, so there's some notes under this outline, and we can find that if you have any accident, you have to declare. You cannot hide it. But whether it's accepted or not, they will decide. Okay, and then problem solving, like if we are using the Lean A3 system to present or problem solving, if you're using PDCA, DMAIC, you have to show that you have that. Okay, and then utilization of tool for circle activation and establishment system for training. Okay, because training actually is one of the pillar to ensure that everybody are been trained with the latest technology, new technology, and so that the organization not only relying on the labor, especially in the organization that focusing on the labor, they also try to focus on automation as well. Okay, so this is some of the things that they like you to present in the presentation. Actually, you have to come up with the report, which include all of these items as well. Okay, so the 10 assessment area is same like this morning. Same like this morning. We have, okay, of course, the first part is about TPM, policy and objective is on the management side. And then the final is the effect evaluation. So this is the criteria on the management. And this is the criteria on the result. Okay, if you are familiar with business excellence, okay, business excellence have 7 criteria. Okay, so the first criteria is leadership, and the last criteria is on the result. Right? Okay, others is the 8th pillar, and this is individual improvement of Kobatsu Kaizen, autonomous maintenance, plan maintenance. Okay, and then the quality maintenance on the documentations and so on, and then product equipment development control, training development, administrative supervisory department, safety, sanitation, and also the environmental control. Okay, of course, every year they did some improvements on this criteria, so we should get the latest one from the JIPM website. Okay, so.
Sorry, the setup is like the business excellence. The very first one is the driver, which is about the leadership policies and stuff like that. And the next 8 is the system, on how that is being done, and also the last one is the result. Yeah, okay, very similar. Okay, good to know.
So actually, the way of reporting is almost the same.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then the integrated components that they want to see. Okay, if of course same like business excellence. Okay, but business excellence we have ADLI, which is approach, deploy, learning, and integrate for business excellence. But in the TPM they cut it a little bit simpler, just covering approach, deploy. Okay, and then they go for the result. Okay, in business excellence result, they have different approach. Yeah, let's see which is level. But they just use this RAD. That means the best score will be if you do autonomous maintenance, you already get the good result from the autonomous maintenance. If you do plant maintenance, you can show that you have a good result from the plant maintenance. How to show that you have good result in plant maintenance? Okay, once you manage to reduce the increase the MTBR, example, MTBF, sorry, mean time between failure. If you can increase it from 1 week to become like, okay, only once in a year or once in 2 years, that's the result. Means your plant maintenance are doing well. Okay, but if you do just plant maintenance, common when I audit, they say, okay, preventive maintenance do, okay, they show me the checklist. Okay, the checklist is tick, 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 tick. Some checklist sometimes even fresh. The ink still hot, I think. Yeah, I rewind. Sometimes when I audit, when they say preventive maintenance, because it's just tick checklist without linking to the result. Okay, so when we want to do effective TPM, it means that if you do plant maintenance, you achieve the good result. The OEE is improving, MTBF improving, NTTR is improving. Autonomous maintenance means your operator already go to the stage 3. Operator number 1 is just operate. Stage 1, stage 2, they can they can do a quick cleaning, and then stage 3 operator can do diagnosis and troubleshooting. So you show the result. Now it's 60% of operator are in stage 3. So each of the pillar, basically we can assess whether you already get the result or not. Okay. Of course, there's a little bit about approach. Okay, means you already know about that. Okay, but the deployment stage is maybe not yet 100%. Okay, so we are looking on the approach people how organization address the criteria. Okay, they already have maybe some SOP, maybe they already have checklist. Okay, but on the deploy side, okay, basically it's already implemented. The SOP already implement, the checklist is already implement. Okay, and of course, finally is the result. Each of the criteria, the body or the pillar of the TPM, okay, is already have the performance, the level has been measured, and improvement assured. Okay, so this is the criteria. Okay, and how they award the point, they are giving each of the criteria same weightage, which is 10% for each of it, maximum point, which is 100, and final one is 1000. Okay, to receive award, they set 700 for the TPM award. Okay, so if you achieve 700 awards, 700 points, means you're entitled for award. For those below, okay, don't worry. Okay, at least any assessment they will provide the opportunity for improvement. Okay, don't worry. I rewind. So if you got 400, maybe on the first assessment, okay, so you can find which area that you need to improve. Maybe you need to improve in terms of autonomous maintenance. Maybe you have to improve in the training and development. Okay, so
yes.
Yes.
Question, Dr. Lee. They just set the target of 700 points to achieve. If you achieve
Yes.
that, then you'll get the award, regardless of whatever award, but the award will be given to you. I think it belongs to a different category lah kan. Tapi award will be given lah, bukan kata dia pilih satu saja. And katalah 50 company masuk, satu company menang, and then lepas tu nombor 2, nombor 3 dan sebagainya. So it will show like what you showed just now, just by different category je lah.
Yes. This is depend on. Okay, so it depend on. Okay, if you got 700 on the world class category. Okay, so because world class category, actually the criteria is shorter, but you have to explain more. Okay, but the special award category, they have more criteria for us to check. So means the world class, they're not asking us macam terlalu prescribed lah. It is not that prescribed. For the world class one, you prescribe what you do. Okay, because once you prescribe, means other people can follow you. Okay, but for those who early adopters, like if our company is quite not familiar with this TPM and so on, so there is a special award which is they have some detailed criteria. Actually, you can refer to page 38 that show that for example, if you're world class, the checklist is checklist S. Okay, but if you for certain category, you can use checklist A or checklist B or checklist C, which is more prescription. They prescribe more, okay, and then you show that you comply with that criteria. But if you are under the world class, S is super, it means superb. So if you're world class, means you prescribe, you tell how you do, and then if it's really good, okay, you will become other organization benchmark. So that's why we call it as the world class TPM. Okay, but this is quite short. This, okay, you can just go through the outline to know more details on how they do that. All right. Okay, of course, this they will check. Okay, your score is based on the point of the approach, deploy, and result. Okay, so means you have to be consistent in terms of approach, consistent in terms of deployment, and then with the exceed target of result for you to achieve that. Okay, Ryan, I think that's enough for the okay, so that's it is enough for the assessment for the guideline. Okay, I think at the same time, since I talked about page 38, so let me show a little bit, let me share, okay, what they have there inside this. All right, so example, okay, so this is preparing the assessment, okay, which is if your company interested to achieve this, okay, you have to prepare the report, and then your report must have all this chapter. They just give example, or if you can have your own methodology is also okay. So outline your company, outline your plan, your size of business. Okay, everyone, can you see that PDF? I'm showing PDF.
Yeah. The PDF showed very clearly. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, that's good because I already I showed the PowerPoint. Okay, and then TPM policy, you have to do some presentation on your TPM policy objective. Okay, then you have to present what is your individual improvement activity, Kaizen, your TPM organization activities, and then chapter 5, you have to report out, okay, how you do the autonomous maintenance, what is the result, what is your future plan of autonomous maintenance. Okay, your PM activities, you have to outline, okay, for example, okay, how you do the lubrication control, equipment diagnostic technique, CBM, and then you have to show your NTBF, MTTR, and then the budget of the PM, the cost DPM, and also the result. Okay, so all this you have to present in the report. Okay, and if you are in the world class, okay, so you can just do your own company story. Because you just do your own company story. Okay, how you do that? If it's great, then it's going to have more marks. Sorry, get result. Okay, and deploy very well. Okay, so this is actually page 27 on the chapter 5, and then page 38. Okay, page 38. I'm sharing about the. This is the checklist. Okay, the assessment criteria and the explanation of it. Okay, inside there. Okay, this is for category A, B. This is for novice. For novice means at minimum, you must have all this. The small group on Friday have vitalized TPM promotion. Okay, you need a story about this. Means your report will be guided based on this. This is for category A, B. For novice, for starter, you can use this checklist. Okay, but if you are on the super, on the S, okay, this is checklist B, okay, checklist A, okay, because A, B, they are more prescribed. Okay, checklist S, they didn't prescribe much. They want you to make a story about this, okay, at minimum, okay, and then you show how you do that, okay, and how we can benchmark you, whether you are world class or not. This is award for world class TPM achievement. Okay, so that's about the award base. So far, any question? IR Riwayat?
Great information. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, tak ada soalan dan terlalu faham agaknya. Tu.
Yeah, so far there's no question also in the question box.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Then I move to the second methodology that I've been using for past 10, not 10, about 5 years ago, like 5-6 years ago, and some of chemical plant that I reassess, but I cannot show the result and improvement because I signed the NDA with the organization. Okay, but I can share the checklist on how the assessment has been done for the TPM, which is actually is more prescribed. It's a lot of prescription inside there, which is the organization can adopt in order to adopt this TPM. Okay, so the improvement assessment. Okay, this is based on our own research. In the TPM, is basically we want to divide the assets and so on. So we are using the 14 dimension, and this 14 dimension, okay, is include all the workshops and so on. Okay, so let me share the Excel sheet of this TPM. Okay, the TPM framework assessment. If you're not interested in the award, okay, of course we can use our checklist. Okay, get our service. Sorry, terpromote sikit ya Riwayat.
No, okay, go ahead.
No
problem.
Okay, use our service. We come to your site because for JIPM, okay, actually, I'm interested to become assessor, but still keep in touch with them. And maybe one day, if I become assessor, and then I will have the organization to be assessed on the TPM using JIPM. Okay, but since JIPM is also just opened out last year, okay, so it's quite new, and we are still in the discussion. Okay, but on my experience, when we do the assessment for the TPM, okay, so normally I will use this checklist. All right, so this checklist is basically a 14 dimension. Okay, it's almost same like the IPM. Okay, we have the number one is the driver, the management. Okay, and the final one is the result and evaluation as well. Okay, but we add in the chemical plant, okay, because in chemical plant we have the quite common activity, okay, which is called shutdown management. Chemical plant normally the JKKP or the DOSH, okay, we require their plant to be inspected every 15 months, or they can extend to 2 years. Depend on the situation. Okay, so normally before the inspection is done, they will be shut down like 1 week or 3 days, and normally it's 1 week, one or 2 weeks shut down. Okay, it's do all the refurbishments of the motor, the pump. Okay, do the inspection on the pipes. Okay, so this is every 15 months. But I'm not sure if because the JKKP or the Dodge now submitting for the new version of the OSH Act, No More Factory Machinery Act. So I'm not sure about that 15 months inspection, whether it's still applicable or not. Okay, but common for the chemical plant, they're going to have the 15, what we call a 15 months breeding inspection. So that's why I add in, okay, how you plan your shutdown. Okay, because we don't want you do the shutdown, but after the shutdown, when we run 3 months, still have a problem because we want your effectiveness of shutdown means that after shutdown, mean you can run 15 months non-stop, because chemical reactions is continuous. Refinery is normally continuous. We can't afford to stop. Okay, we just stop during the shutdown. So shutdown management we include there. Okay, also I mentioned about workshop repair facilities. Okay, there is criteria number 8. Example here, we can go criteria number 8. This is number 5. Okay, number 8. Okay, we check about your workshop and repair facilities in terms of infrastructure. We assess in terms of infrastructure. Okay, the completeness of the tools, even the 5S, the 5S of the repair facilities, the workshop. And then what is the improvements of these repair facilities, and what is the report that they report out in the repair facilities. I also add because in the maintenance there is also outsource maintenance activity. Okay, so we're going to look as well on the service level agreement, the supervision of the outsourcing activities, workflow control, and so on. Right. So basically, there is an additional from what JIPM checklist, and this is more on the improvement because when I say total, I also want to involve the procurement. I also want to involve the management on the budgeting as well in the TPM. Okay, so I'm just going to read out, since we only have about 15 minutes, more about 30 minutes. So actually, I have more criteria in here. Okay, so more criteria on the top management, for example, this is plus. Okay, this is all the checklist on the management side. Okay, and then we have the early equipment, means it's more detailed. Checklist, even early equipment, we're asking at least you have the 3 structure of your equipment asset coding, and so on. So it's detailed. Okay, but since this is just 1 hour, so instead of I'm showing all these detailed checklist, okay, so let me show the common criteria in the TPM. Okay, so let me start with the criteria 1. Is on the maintenance management, about the strategy of the business unit, their site support, their maintenance management strategy, their communication. For example, this morning, somebody asked whether we need the job description. Okay, yes, we need job description. It have to be communicated. People have to know. And then you need the key indicators, or the KPI, or the objective of the maintenance, including the result of other departments, for example, like production, purchasing, and so on. Okay, and then we're looking also the strategy should include the benchmark on the this one wrong spelling, on the technology. Okay, there is some score. For example, if you are moving towards IR 4.0, Internet of Things, automation, mechanization. Okay, so benchmark on the technology on certain asset. on the certain activity, on the manual assembly and so on. Okay, so that is also going to be assessed. Okay, and then of course there is the action plan. Okay, this is the checklist on the maintenance management. On the second criteria is about when you want to invest in the new machinery or equipment. Okay, first of all, okay, we want to know about the three structure of your equipment. What is the parts? What is the spare part that is required? What is the part that need to be replaced as a whole? What is the part that can be replaced, for example, by changing the bearing? Okay, so you need the structure. Okay, equipment A, the reactor. Okay, under reactor, how many system? Okay, they have control system, and they have agitator system, or the one they have the heat band system. Okay, and then they have the pressurized column. All right, so from there, the heat band system, right, what is the item inside the heat band? Okay, all that need to be defined. If not defined, then the score will be low. I will take normally during the assessment, I say, okay, you have the reactor. Okay, so show me your three structure of your reactor. Okay, if you just show the PID, okay, the pipeline and so on, okay, that's maybe just covering, okay, on the control system. It's not the overall structure of the equipment. Okay, three structure technical documentation of a certain critical parts. The specification, if you want to buy the equipment, for example, just take example on aviation, even though in aviation is now it's not that doing very well. Okay, ramai pilot dah jual Mirrorpost, bawa Grab. Okay, but actually it's interesting. I rewind, it's quite interesting industry because of their maintenance of aircraft is really structured. All the specification, all the parts, what need to be replaced, okay, how many hours of flying that this part need to be inspected. Okay, so actually the aviation industry have quite good model of the TPM, okay, but of course it's quite expensive, and because one of the company that audit in the aviation, okay, they want to change the door handle. It's quite simple door handle, and not door means the cabin handle, that one, cabin bag. Okay, you cannot get from the hardware shop. So if you get from hardware shop, then maybe the CAM, okay, or FCA and so on, okay, going to charge you, right? Because they have to get from the catalog, right? Because they don't want, okay, that handle, right, the handle that to open your cabin, the cabin luggage bag and so on, okay, to cause the injury when flying, or to fail when it's flying. Okay, so there is a design and purchasing specification. Okay, so all that is need to be clearly defined at early stage. Especially, I will focus on the A equipment. A equipment means the critical equipment. If it stop, means other cannot run. Okay, and then there is a checklist on preventive maintenance plan. Okay, means you also need to redefine maintenance plan if it's not effective. And then I cover also on the work management. Okay, work management means work request. For example, if there is a problem in the machine, okay, how the operator going to request? They already diagnosed it, and so on. So work management, that's number 4. And then it's quite a lot on this because I'm ISO guy. So an ISO guy, we gotta focus more about this work management, about work permit, because we want to ensure that it's safe. Okay, so we evaluate that as well. And then autonomous maintenance. Okay, so actually this one I forget to change the language from the Belanda side, from the Netherlands. Okay, because some of it is I take from the Netherlands model. Okay, and then shutdown management, and then spare part management. Okay, so spare part management, we have stock parameter, warehouse management. For ITF 16949, another industry, quite interesting as well. The spare part control is one of the requirements. Okay, if not, you can get NC as well. Okay, slide number 7 about spare part. Okay, I Ruwayat, so everything okay?
Good, good. But you
Okay,
don't have
so
this, you don't make this available, yeah?
yes.
Okay.
Because this is just to show, to highlight, okay, that there's a detailed one if one, okay, but at least the GIPM one should be sufficient. I don't want to make
All right.
things complicated.
Okay.
Okay, and then workshop we already talked, also already talked about. Okay, and then we have the personal management, the competency profile, okay, the function description, the training plan, okay, this same like ISO as well. And then information management, okay, for example, this is about the production scheduling so that you will not interrupted, okay, especially we already planned for maintenance. Okay, so maybe you already use the CMMS system or ERP system, the scheduling software, and so on. Okay, and then we have the safety, health, environment, quality management reporting, financial management. Okay, so in maintenance, okay, for me, important one is about the budgeting as well, right? So the chart of account, long-term maintenance plan, the cost registration. Okay, so if you have that, you will have the high score in this part. Okay, and final one is of course result and evaluation. Okay, so if anything there is red, normally we define anything below 50 is red. Okay, so the organization can identify their improvement. Okay, if they're already green, we consider they are best practice already in their implementation. Okay, so it's almost 4 o'clock already. So the improvement of assessment basically something that help you to start. And if you really need more details, of course, you can contact MPC, and maybe MPC can contact me to assist on that. But if you're more interested on the most simpler one, maybe you just use the JIPM assessment methodology. Okay, so whatever methodology that we have, either JIPM or either the detailed assessment. Okay, what you should consider is anything that is score low. Okay, you should identify the improvement and then you plan your improvement on the TPM. Okay, so follow-up action. Basically, the final words from me. Assessment basically is about the measurement. We want to know where we are. Okay, so if we don't know where we are, we think we are good, we are best, we may not see any improvement in that. So by having the assessment, whatever model or frameworks that you use, okay, we can identify what needs to be improved, and at least we are moving forwards. Okay, that's my final words, okay, which is we need to do assessment so that at the end we know what to improve. Okay, so can I pass back to you, or any question from the participant?
Thank you, Dr. Adli. Thank you for the sharing. Very good information. Yeah. Okay, now we come to the Q&A session. I see one question here from Muhammad Zaki Tumijian. Okay.
Sama macam pagi tadi. Okay, good.
Yeah. The very active participant here. Okay. He said, Assalamualaikum. Waalaikumsalam. Is the assessment open, include industries which has any hazardous chemical, example ammonia, nitrogen, or only for chemical plant?
Okay, this assessment is open for any industry. It's not just chemical plant, it's hazardous substance, it's the CIMA. In Malaysia, we have a CIMA, the industrial hazard type of organization is also open. Okay, only you have to make sure if you want to submit for award, okay, there is no big incident, no major cases, no scandal, because all these scandal they can look on the website. And so if you have scandal, you normally going to be rejected. Okay, but if you want to do for own assessment, okay, so this assessment is open to any organization, even though it's not chemical plant. Okay, so
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the answer, Dr. Adli. So this TPM is across all industries actually, yeah, not only for chemical. It's across industries. Okay, there's no more question. Time now is 4:01. I don't see any more question. All right,
okay,
let
so
me
if
see
no,
some.
okay.
Yeah. This is the chance for you to get the information from a person that is very knowledgeable on the TPM. Yeah. So the question can come from not only from the chemical industry, but others as well. If you have any question, this is a good topic actually, TPM. Not many people are willing to do TPM because they are quite tedious. If you don't know how to go about doing TPM, then you may be running in circle, yeah, not really improving the organization. So whatever information this morning that Dr. Adli has shared with us, and also in the afternoon to see, this is basically a check, yeah. This morning is P and D, plan and do. Now is more of a C portion, so that you can get to the A, yeah. So I think that's about it. I just want to thank you, Dr. Adli, for his sharing. Yeah, and now we have come to the end of the session, and before we end this seminar, or rather this webinar, I just want to allow Dr. Adli, if there are any other messages. I'm sure there's another one coming, which is the industry, the readiness for the industry 4.0. But Dr. Adli, you want to say something about the forthcoming webinar, so that the participant can be ready for it?
Okay, thank you for giving me the platform. I Riwayat. Okay, so basically on 2nd of December, we're going to have on this chemical nexus. This is my final webinar, which is talking about the process readiness. We are using the Malaysia frameworks for IR 4.0 readiness assessment, which is there is a 3 pillar under organization, technology, and process. So I will share about the process readiness because actually I'm not directly involved in that, but I have opinions to share. Okay, because a lot of company when they want to implement the technology, they want to put the automation, the Internet of Things, okay, but they put on the wrong side. They put on the waste side. If in lean, okay, the process that already have a waste, that we should eliminate it, but we automate that one. Okay, so we want to see the organizations. Okay, first of all, okay, are they ready to implement the latest technology? Okay, by looking at their process, is the process of the waste is only left those unavoidable, and the one that we cannot eliminate, but maybe we can reduce, okay, by using some of the technologies. Okay, so there is assessment criteria as well for that readiness. Okay, because we're going to have about the horizontal integrations, vertical integrations, and supply chain. Okay? Actually, I will share when we do the readiness assessment by using the value stream maps. Okay, so
Okay.
thanks, Ayurwet, for sharing that.
Yeah. Actually, thank you for the preview of what's coming up on the second, as far as the industry, the readiness for Industry 4.0 is concerned. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Finally, I just want to say thank you to MPC for the opportunity given for this webinar to be aired, and inviting me and also Dr. Adley to be the moderator and also the speaker for this session. Yeah, MPC has done this tirelessly. Yeah. To promote knowledge sharing, and they are being a great organizer. Yeah. And thank you also to all the individuals who have made this webinar possible, and also not to forget all of you, all the attendees, viewers, and participants out there who have joined us for this productive session. Okay, so at any rate, stay safe, stay at home. If you don't have to move out, or rather, you don't have to go out. You don't want to move out from your home. Stay healthy. However, let's continue to be productive by learning new things and continue to sharpen our mind, and with knowledge sharing on the webinar like this. Yeah. So thank you very much again. I end this with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks, Ayurwet. Okay, insyaAllah jumpa lagi.
Thank you. Yeah, insyaAllah.